It's a challenge running a hockey season amid a pandemic. We'll hear from someone who's played a pivotal role in ECHL operations this year. And one Eastern Conference team, which has been a stranger to the playoffs over the last few years, has its sights set on a return. These stories and more right now on ECHL Week.
Hi, welcome to ECHL Week. I'm Barry Schickling. Now that the second half of the ECHL regular season has started, we thought it might be a good time to talk to one of the people who's been instrumental in putting together this very unusual season. We're very pleased to welcome Joeernst, Senior Vice President of Hockey Operations for the ECHL, to the program today. Joe, I understand you've added the title of COVID Czar to your list of duties this season.
I'll be honest with you, I can't wait to get rid of it. That's for sure.
So regarding the pandemic, where do things stand right now?
And we know going in, we weren't naive to say we weren't going to have any issues. We had, I think it was a 2.5 week, 3 week stretch there where it was, you almost had and it's not funny, but it was just like you shook your head and just said, like, when's the next phone call coming, what's going to happen and everything else. We had some teams go through some tough situations where we had to cancel games and everything else. But, you know, I think the players, the coaches, the staffs, they've done a great job. Our medical team and our equipment guys, with keeping it clean, and our trainers with doing the testing and the Edge 10 app and everything that they have to go through, I think it's paid off.
So for the teams that are playing, are they going to get a full season in? Knock
on wood, right now, everybody's scheduled to, all the games that had been postponed and moved around and everything else have been rescheduled. So everybody's going to get it. So let's just hope that we have just under 2 months left in the regular season, that we don't have any other quote unquote hiccups, because these teams now are playing 3 and 4 nights, 5 and 6 and stuff like that. So there's not much room to maneuver.
Pertaining to the play itself, what's your impression of how this season has unfolded?
It started out where we had even more American League guys playing in the beginning of the year, and then it kind of shifted where those guys went when they started. But I think the play has been really good. Like, we're at almost, I think it's 48% of our games are one-goal hockey games.
How about the playoff format, Joe? It's certainly going to be different than anything else we've seen in the past.
It's going to be weird. Obviously, we're going to have 3 rounds instead of 4 rounds. It's best of 5s with higher seed being able to pick. Do they want the first 2 at home, last 3 on the road? Or do you want to go on the road, try to steal 1 and come back and have 3 games at home? It's going to be tight as far as the calendar. We're ending June 5th, and we want to end the playoffs July 3rd. So we're looking at a month to get stuff in with travel and everything else. So it's going to be condensed, but otherwise it's going to be, we're gonna award a Kelly Cup, and Mr. Kelly's been double vaccinated, so he hasn't gone anywhere since last year, and right now the goal is to get him to hand out his trophy.
Joeernst, Senior Vice President of Hockey Operations for the ECHL, thank you very much for joining us today, and pat yourself on the back for doing a great job in getting this season together.
I'll take a small piece of the credit. It was a lot of other people besides me. I was just I'll say I was in the background.
The trading deadline is drawing near, but some teams aren't waiting until April 22nd to make deals.
Tulsa has been one of the active teams. The Oilers picked up goaltender Hayden Hawkey from Allen. Hawkey will be joining his 3rd team this season. He started the year in Wheeling. In return, Allen receives the ECHL rights to former Oiler Miles Liberati, who hasn't played this season. Liberati's experience includes over 90 games with the Americans a few seasons ago. The Oilers also picked up forward Michael McNicholas from Indy. The 3rd-year pro started the season in Utah before heading to the Fuel, where he accrued 15 points in 25 games. Heading to Indy is forward Brent Gates, who brings with him some size as well as a couple of games of AHL experience this season. Also, Utah beefed up its blue line by acquiring Cole Fraser from South Carolina for future considerations. Fraser started the season in Allen and is returning to the Western Conference for the stretch drive. Don't forget, our annual trading deadline show will be here soon. We'll wrap up all the deals as teams fine-tune their rosters for the final 6 weeks of the regular season and perhaps beyond. And the team in Carlville, Iowa, which will be starting play in the ECHL in October, has named a president. You might recognize Brian McKenna. He served as the league's commissioner from 2002 through 2018 and was inducted into the ECHL Hall of Fame in 2019. We'll talk with him about his new team in next week's show.
The top scoring defenseman in the league and his coach, next on ECHL Week.
New buyers can benefit by working with a trusted real estate agent. Will Springer is your trusted advisor for buyers and sellers. For a free consultation or to find an agent in your area of the country, contact Will today.
Since 2015, Greenville has only qualified for the Kelly Cup playoffs once, and 2014 was the last time the team won a playoff series. Although there are about 30 games still to play, the Swamp Rabbits would be a pick right now to qualify for one of those Eastern Conference postseason berths. We recently spoke with first-year Greenville coach Andrew Lord. He talked about the team's journey to date.
Yeah, I mean, we started extremely slow, and roster movement, obviously COVID, we literally have not had, the same lines, kind of more than 2 games in a row, really. It's been better as of late, or, maybe the lines have changed, but a lot of the same forwards have been in the mix. And, we've been able to establish some things there and really get it clicking. Which is great. We need that going forward. Any team that's going to make a push down the stretch and deep into the playoffs has to have their power play going. And, I'm confident we're going to get there.
Lord recognizes the value that Jardine has brought to the Swamp Rabbits, whom he got to know in the United Kingdom's Elite League last season.
We're fortunate to build our relationship last year in Cardiff. I think, we were able to get him over to Cardiff at still a fairly young age. He hadn't completely given up on the dream of trying to move up in North America. He had a little bit of a taste of the American League a few years ago. He's obviously won a number of times. He's won 2 Kelly Cups. He's been part of a team when they won the Calder Cup a few years back. He won in Cardiff with us. There's a lot of, just winning there and experience that comes with that.
Huge reason that I signed in Cardiff was just because of 2 phone call conversations that I had with Lordo. It was pretty obvious to me that he was a coach that I would want to play for. He's very introspective. He's got a good balance of like fire and passion, but also intelligence and the way that he views the game and being forward thinking. So he's a motivator, but he's also X's and O's.
Based on what they've seen and experienced in Greenville, both Jardine and Lord have high expectations for the rest of this season.
The group that we have, I'd say a little bit on the younger end in comparison maybe to the rest of the league. I know we got a handful of rookies, but we got some great personalities. We have made some young mistakes through the first half of the year. There's been times where we haven't had great starts, or we've maybe had inconsistency within our weekend.
Like where our team's at, I think we've grown a lot as a group here the first 4 or 5 months. I think we're in a good place. Just got to get a little more healthy now here, and really just put our foot down on the gas and try to, I'd like to get, obviously, I'm sure everyone would, up into that sort of next grouping there with Indy and Florida. Have a little bit more breathing room, but we're just going to keep her going here, and very excited for the second half.
It's highlight time. We hope you enjoy the best of the week.
We start with a rather unconventional goal. Brady Tomlak of the Wheeling Nailers gets credit for this one. He takes advantage of the inability of Fort Wayne goaltender Dylan Ferguson to get back to the net after playing the puck.
Went behind the net to play it. And the Nailers were able to get it off the stick, and Roll came in front.
Having an old pro like South Carolina's Andrew Chernichin alone in the slot during a power play can be real trouble. The Swamp Rabbits weren't able to cover him and paid the price.
For the first time tonight, the Stingrays lead.
You'd be hard-pressed to see a goal scored faster off a face-off than this one. Kansas City's Rob Bordson shows his talent, and quite a shot too, in this game at Tulsa. Shots don't have to be 100 miles per hour as long as they're in the right place, like this one from Fort Wayne defenseman Matthew Brodeur in a win over Jacksonville.
A drive from the point, and it's Matthew Brodeur. He will get the goal.
The Icemen bounced back for a victory one night later in Indy. Here's Brandon Gignac of Jacksonville getting the game winner with a few seconds, but not many, to spare. Finally, one of the best saves of the week, Utah's Kevin Carr extends his right leg to cover the net and frustrate an Allen scoring chance.
That wraps up another edition of ECHL Week. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels. You know it's the best way to keep up to date on everything that's going on throughout the ECHL. And let me tell you, in the next few weeks, a lot is going to come down the pike. See you next time.